Hello, Aries. Thank you for joining me here at Destiny Guided Tarot. This is going to be a general reading, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for January. As a general reading, of course, it cannot fit for everybody, so take what does fit and throw the rest away. You can also watch your other placements. Sometimes those are more accurate. If you're not sure what they are, you can go to Cafe Astrology and find out for free. I've linked that for you in the description box. So let's get started, shall we? Messages, please, for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. This is for the month of January, starting with the first week. Thank you. Okay, King of Cups. The Lovers. Emperor. How interesting. That is the Aries sign, or the Aries card. And I'm an Aries too, so. Okay, the Strength card. 3 major arcana so far. That's interesting as well. One more, please. And the 6 of Cups. All right. Let's take a look. So the week begins with the King of Cups. Someone emotionally steady, compassionate, and deeply intuitive. This may represent you or someone influencing your current path. Either way, the beginning of this narrative is marked by emotional maturity and calm, even as strong feelings move beneath the surface. Now, this could show up as you trying to lead with empathy in a complicated relationship, or a stable, emotionally intelligent partner in your life, or a personal effort to stay balanced despite inner storms. The king is the calm before the choice. All right. Next, we have the Lovers. From this calm foundation, a major relationship or soul-level choice emerges. The Lovers can signify a powerful connection, romantic, spiritual, or deeply meaningful, that invites vulnerability and authenticity. It also highlights a decision that must be made from the heart rather than logic alone. Possibilities include a relationship growing more serious, prompting you to choose commitment, or reconciling a conflicting desires within yourself, being presented with 2 equally compelling paths, or recognizing a bond that feels predestined. Where the King of Cups offers emotional steadiness, the Lovers asks for emotional truth. Now we have the Emperor next, the next chapter, okay? The Emperor will shift the energy into stability, leadership, and boundaries. What begins with emotion and connection must now be organized and grounded. This step requires stepping into authority, either your own or in response to someone else's. This may look like defining the structure of a relationship. What are we? What do we want long term? That sort of thing. Or making a practical choice that supports the emotional one. Maybe taking responsibility for the direction that your life is headed, or interacting with a figure of power, someone who expects clarity and commitment. The Emperor marks the moment when the vision becomes reality, but reality requires rules, discipline, and leadership. Okay. Then we have the Strength card. After the Emperor's firm hand, strength brings a gentler kind of mastery. Where the Emperor uses external authority, strength uses internal grace. This suggests you're learning to balance willpower with compassion, confidence with vulnerability. Examples: handling a tense situation with patience rather than force, or discovering your own resilience after a difficult emotional choice, or taming your inner lion, which is fear, impatience, or insecurity, through self-love, or navigating a relationship with courage and tenderness. Strength reassures you that the power you need is already within you, not something you must force or control. Then we have 6 of Cups. The narrative is closing with a soft, nostalgic card. After emotional depth, choice, and structure and inner courage, you return to something pure, an emotional truth rooted in simplicity and sincerity. This may manifest as reconnecting with someone from your past, or healing an inner child wounds and approaching relationships with newfound openness. May also be remembering what you originally wanted before life complicated things, or embracing a sense of innocence and trust again. It's a warm, heartfelt reminder, despite everything that you've navigated, the heart will remain soft and hopeful and capable of joy. All right, let's carry on with the next week and see how things continue. Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising. The second week of January, please. Okay, one card keeps wanting to jump out. 4 of Wands, that's lovely. That one fell to the floor, excuse me a moment. Oh, come on. There we go, there are 2 actually. You have the 6 of Wands and the Ace of Swords. Continuing. Knight of Wands. And one more, please. 6 of Pentacles. All right. We have our cards. Let's take a look. So we begin with the 4 of Wands. Moment of foundation and celebration. Okay? So you're beginning in a place of harmony and stability. 4 of Wands suggests that you've recently reached a milestone or created a supportive environment. There's a sense of community, joy, and accomplishment, like the groundwork is finally settled beneath your feet. This might show up as completing a major phase of a project, relationship, or a move. Might be celebrating a personal achievement or reunion. Maybe finding a stable home, partnership, or social circle. Or simply feeling more grounded than you have in a long time. The tone is one of, yes, this is starting to work. Okay? And then we move on to 6 of Wands. So, in this foundation comes public success or acknowledgement. The 6 of Wands shows you stepping forward and being seen, whether by others or yourself. Your efforts are paying off and people are noticing. Examples of this could include receiving praise, a promotion, or some form of validation. Possibly gaining confidence as you realize others respect your work. Maybe overcoming a struggle or emerging victorious, or finding the courage to express your achievements proudly. These early cards are showing you building stability and then rising into visibility and confidence. At this point, clarity strikes, the Ace of Swords. It represents a moment of truth, insight, a new perspective, a decisive idea, or a fresh direction, born from mental clarity. Something begins or becomes undeniably clear. This may look like suddenly understanding what you want the next chapter to look like, or making a key decision that cuts away confusion. Maybe you're receiving news that changes your approach, or discovering a new plan or a strategy that energizes you. It's the mental spark that launches the next phase. So with your clarity in hand, you surge forward. The Knight of Wands brings passion, boldness, charisma, and rapid action. This is a card of pursuit, of adventure, ambition, creativity, or desire. You might experience taking a daring step toward a goal or opportunity, pursuing a passion project with fiery enthusiasm, traveling, moving, or initiating change with confidence, or meeting someone who brings excitement and momentum into your life. This knight doesn't hesitate. So the story is shifting from mental clarity to bold action. And then we conclude with the 6 of Pentacles, a card of exchange, generosity, restoring balance. After the passion and forward motion, things settle into a harmonious flow of support, either you giving, receiving, or both. This could manifest as receiving financial help, mentorship, or resources to help you move forward. It could also be giving your time, skill, or resources to support someone else. Maybe finding a more balanced way of living so your energy isn't burned out by ambition. Or you're entering a healthier dynamic in relationships, one where reciprocity is restored. It's the point where success becomes sustainable through balance and generosity. All right, so let's take a look. Week 3. Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. 3rd week of January. Messages, please. Messages. Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. And one more, please. Very similar to what I just did earlier. Alright, let's see what we have here. So the story or week begins in a space of tension or competition. Okay, the 5 of Wands suggests that things feel disorganized, scattered, or contentious. It might not be destructive conflict, but there's definitely friction, misalignment, or ego clashes, something going on, okay? This may be showing up as disagreements at work or within a group of friends, mixed signals or competition in a romantic situation. It could also be inner conflict, where different parts of you want different things, or simply feeling like you're pushing through chaos and distractions. The energy is noisy. No one is fully listening and nothing feels settled. Okay? But then into this tension enters the Knight of Cups, offering a softer, more heartfelt energy. This card represents an emotional messenger, a romantic gesture, sincere apology, or a creative or intuitive pull that brings warmth to a cold situation. Now, this could manifest as someone approaching with an offer, an invitation, or a confession, or you deciding to act from your heart rather than conflict. It could be an unexpected romantic development after tension, or a creative spark that pulls you out of frustration. The Knight of Cups moves toward peace, connection, and emotional authenticity. The story then deepens and gets even slower. The Hierophant introduces tradition, structure, guidance, or established systems. After emotional movement, things turn toward wisdom, commitment, or a deeper understanding. Possibilities could include seeking a counselor, mentor, or a spiritual guide for clarity, defining the rules or expectations of a relationship or partnership, returning to your core values after confusion, or finding comfort in ritual, spiritual practice, or community. This is the moment where you step out of the chaos and into meaning. And then comes a sharp turning point. The Ten of Swords represents a release, an ending, or a moment where something can no longer be held together. It's dramatic, but it's also liberating. Something reaches its final conclusion so that a new beginning can emerge. Now, this might appear as an ending of a conflict-heavy relationship or environment. Maybe walking away from a belief, job, or commitment that no longer serves you. Perhaps being forced to accept a truth that you've avoided. Or experiencing a moment of emotional burnout that finally prompts change. It's the moment of surrender. It's painful, but also decisive. And then the light will break through. The Ace of Pentacles is the seed of something real, stable, and promising. A new opportunity, a fresh start, a material or practical blessing that grows from the ashes of the Ten of Swords. Okay. This can manifest as a new job, financial opportunity, or an investment. Maybe a grounded, healthy relationship emerging after leaving a toxic dynamic. It could also be a chance to rebuild your life with better foundations, or maybe a practical step like moving, starting a project, beginning a new routine that leads to long-term success. The Ace is the moment that you hold the seed of your next chapter. And finally, let's look into week 4 and see where that takes us. Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Week 4 of January, please. These big cards are hard for me to shuffle. I have such tiny hands. It takes a little bit of effort. So bear with me. Messages, please. Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, your Venus. Last week of January. There's 1. Grail, 9. Spear, 6. Grail, 5. Grail, spears, grail, grail. And finally, Grail 7. My goodness, lots of grails. All right, let's have a look and see. So we begin with Grail 9. All right. A moment of fulfillment. Okay. It's emotional satisfaction or the sense of having achieved something meaningful. Grail 9 is the equivalent of the 9 of Cups. And it's a card of wishes realized. Confidence, pleasure, and a quiet pride in how far you've come. This might appear as feeling content in your personal life or relationships. Also achieving an emotional and personal goal. Or maybe enjoying independence, comfort, or self-love. Or savoring something that you've worked hard to attain. This is the I've earned this moment. Calm, grateful, and stable. From this emotional satisfaction comes movement and success. Spear 6, which is the 6 of Wands energy, shows you stepping into visibility and receiving acknowledgement for your efforts. It's recognition that doesn't just feel good, it propels you forward. This could look like people affirming your progress or your growth, maybe gaining momentum in a creative or passionate pursuit, earning respect or admiration, or simply realizing that others see you clearly. Confidence builds. You're not only fulfilled, you're shining. But then comes the emotional downturn. Grail 5. Brings sorrow, disappointment, and emotional loss. It doesn't negate your earlier progress, but it does introduce an emotional wound or setback. Something disrupts the sense of ease that you had. This may manifest as a misunderstanding or falling out with someone important, or possibly losing an opportunity or a connection that you valued. It may also be focusing on what's missing instead of what remains. Or possibly old emotions resurfacing and clouding your sense of confidence. The key here is that not all is lost, but your focus might temporarily be on the spilled cups. Okay. Then we have Grail 8. From the disappointment, clarity begins to form. Grail 8 is the moment you choose to leave behind something familiar, even if it's painful, because you know there's something more true for you elsewhere. This is an empowered departure. You might be walking away from a relationship that no longer supports your emotional needs, or letting go of a pattern, a belief, or coping mechanism, maybe stepping away from a job or a dynamic that drained you, or choosing emotional growth over emotional comfort. It's the I'm ready to move on moment. Quiet but powerful. And then we have uncertainty. Grail 7. card of choices, dreams, illusions, and emotional possibilities. After leaving something behind, your world opens, but that openness can feel overwhelming. There are many paths, many desires, many visions, and not all of them are clear. It might look like exploring multiple emotional possibilities, romantic or otherwise. Possibly feeling torn between what you want and what you think you want. Experiencing vivid imagination, fantasies, and daydreams, or maybe needing to distinguish true intuition from wishful thinking. This is not confusion as punishment. It's the universe's way of saying, now that you've let go, you get to choose what you want next. So, very interesting, isn't it? I hope you found this enjoyable or helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. That's our way of getting the message out there to others. You can also subscribe and click the notification button to let you know when I upload new content, if that's your wish. And otherwise, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, night, whatever, wherever you are. And I will see you on the next one. Thanks. Bye-bye.